Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with a Simpler Stocks free video for April 19th, 2016. It's about 5 minutes after the bell. Basically, today was a real non-event that, well, it looks like a non-event now, but the market opened way down pre-market because of the sell-off in crude oil due to a lack of OPEC agreeing to any kind of price production cuts. On the other hand, we have oil that really, and luckily I posted this last night, that oil is sort of stuck in this range where one side is sort of hoping for some deal. Another side has already discounted a lot of the action going on all over OPEC, figuring that OPEC wasn't going to decide on anything anyway. So what we actually saw today was what were traders first keying off of? Price of oil overnight. Oil overnight did this. Big old spike down right here Sunday night. ESs had big old spike down. Like luckily I mentioned in the charts I posted last night on Simpler Stocks Premium, is by the opening it could be completely different. On the opening it was completely different. We had oil down here. We had the market down here, as you see. And what I mean by market is the ESs. Well, the ESs already were almost unchanged when oil was still $1.50 down. So when oil rallied, this really kicked in on the left. So right now what we got was we got the ES up 11. You have the NASDAQ right now only up 11. Netflix just came out with worse than expected earnings. Right now it's down about 18 points. You have the Russell up 7, all of 7. And you have bonds down all of 19. You have the Nikkei up all of 55. Crude oil only down 37. Gold down 70 cents, was up almost $10. So basically, let me give you a couple of things going on in here. Number one, we have the ES is right against resistance. Number one, that's the first thing you have to notice in here. Let's put the ESs on a daily. And you see what we're talking about right in this area. We have on the right, you have the NASDAQ that was getting up that 4,600 level that we've talked about all along in here. Let me show you on a daily. Got up almost to that 4,600 right in this area. Right now, obviously, the NASDAQ selling off because of Netflix, but you have the NASDAQ right in this area. Both of them in this area, what they're doing is totally frustrating the bulls, the bears. Absolutely frustrating the bears in here, that every time it looks like we're about to get nailed, we go up. And then once we go up and you're like, I'm not going to be in anything overnight, then we go down. It's just fascinating how that works. Now, what I wanted you to see on the ESs was on a 78-minute chart, you have this, where it looks to me like it has an extension right to this level, but like I said, you're at a resistance zone. You have to be real careful in here. The key tomorrow is going to be this, the NASDAQ. NASDAQ couldn't get above this level, and now, like I said, is selling off now, is right at this area, 45, 48. If it fails to stay above this level, and now it gets down to where it started the day, I think you're going to see the ESs start to sell off. We just haven't seen any of that yet, but that's what could be happening in here. Now, one thing I want to mention is we talk all the time about sentiment, and the sentiment on stock twits, we finally got where the bullish, the bearish sentiment is only 57%. Before, just so you know, it got up to 77%. So let me show you what I'm talking about in here. I use a lot of times when I go to stock twits, and I do a stock twits sentiment table. And I post this every week on this premium side. So let me show you what I'm talking about with this. When I go into my Simpler Stocks, and this is the actual page for Simpler Stocks, when I go into chart ideas, I go to stock trades and chart ideas, and I show the sentiment table. This is something I've compiled myself. And I'm hoping it works as I'm on the fly. This then goes to an iCloud one where then you can see how I add it every week instead of just doing a Snagit file. And as you see on here, that this week was 57% bearish on the SPX. The week before it was 77% bearish. And what happened? It was up. The week before, when I first started this, 68% bearish, we were up. Got down to 62%, we were down. Last week, 77% bearish, we were up. Now we're only 57. That's pretty shallow. So we're very curious to see if we're going to sell off this week. Very interested in there. Look how the QQQ, same thing where the bearishness got, it actually got bullish. So check this out. This is very interesting. You have the QQQ going from 52% bullish to 67% bearish to 57% bullish. This is the most bullish I've seen it in about 2 months. It's going to be very interesting to see if the NASDAQ does continue to underperform. But very interested to watch that. That's a sentiment table that I share all the time on the premium side, and I'm updating it every week. It's nothing proprietary. It just takes a lot of legwork to do. So those are the things I'm going to be watching the next couple of days. We're going to definitely be watching crude oil. We're going to see if crude oil can make a new high. Every trader I know is looking at this daily chart to see if it can get above this 42 level. If it does, check out on a daily if you zoom out where it could go. Right to this area, 45. That would be pretty significant. So I'm going to be watching that very carefully. Just so you know, show you a couple of these indexes. We're going to talk about unusual option activity in some of the NASDAQ stocks and the IBMs of the world, which came out with earnings just now also. We're also going to have on Wednesday on the premium side, we're going to have this. Let me put it up here so you know what I'm talking about. We're having another one of my meetups that are free. Very big value. With your $7 trial, you actually get this. We've had a number of meetups. This one is 3 ways to trade webinar. Basically what I'm going to do is go over something like Tesla. And if it's one day where you think Tesla is going to fall apart, what's a conservative way, a neutral way, and a very aggressive way to trade the movement. So I hope you can join us on that. That's something that, like I said, comes with your membership. In addition to that, all these other learning centers, check out these. We've had all of these in here using the MACD, best ATR trailing stops, moving averages, bull and bear, unusual options, and this is the one coming this week. All of these are included in your membership. So I hope you can take us up on the offer, $7 for 30 days. Everybody have a great night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.